found the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Hey, Susie, so glad to be here with you today. And I've got some exciting revelation for you about shampoos and coat types. So let's get into it.
I'm excited to hear what you've got to share, Barbara. Welcome to episode 436 of the GroomPod, recorded on January 26th, 2025 in Snohomish, Washington and Greenville, South Carolina. Happy belated birthday publicly on the GroomPod.
And the same to you.
Why, thank you so much. I love that we share so close birthdays. It makes things much more special when this month comes along because I'm not so much looking forward to birthdays anymore.
Well, you.
Okay, I get it. This podcast is brought to you by our kind sponsors, Best Shot Show Season, Precision Sharp, and Stasco. And if you guys would like to support the show, you can tip your podcasters directly by going to thegroompod.com and using the donation button. And you can also support us weekly through Patreon. This week on the GroomPod, we're going to talk about some of our favorite influencers, and we're going to talk about shampoos for coat types. I know that one was asked a while ago, but we're going to finally tackle it. So I met the micro burn doodle, one of the doodles that I added recently that I told you about. It's a blue merle micro burnadoodle.
What does micro mean?
It means it's tiny.
Oh, it's like toy.
It's like toy. It's like a toy doodle, which I can't say those words together. It just doesn't fit. But the dog is full of herding dog sass. I was so surprised at how tiny she is. She has some big feet, but for her, she's 16 weeks old. She's really small. I think she is truly going to be a micro-sized toy doodle, which I'm excited about. She has lovely hair so far, but of course she's just a baby. But I was really surprised. The bummer is, and this is not such a bummer for you, but it's a real bummer for me. I broke my original favorite Le Pooch brush from the 90s.
It's about time.
A tear rolled down my cheek when it broke. This is the one that we took a close-up of, and you could see the knobs on the end of the polished pins. That's the brush I lost, and the new ones don't have that, and I'm totally bummed about it. However, as I was lamenting the loss of my favorite brush because the plastic center just shattered into a million pieces because it's so old, I was looking through, doing a little scrolling as I was drying a dog, and I saw there was a post on the GroomPod discussion group about a new, it might not even be new, about a slicker that's got protected pins that's made by the Tweezer Man. And his nail clippers are really good. So I thought, oh, that looks cool. So what are you thinking? I'm going to get one for you and one for me.
Yeah, I want to take a look at it close up with my 3X lens and tell you what I think. I'm excited because in my chaos of moving 2 times, I lost my little Artero small slicker. Apparently somebody else wanted it more than me. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to try it out. By the way, I got the powder products from Code Defense.
Yes.
Well, they're good. They're good. But I don't have anybody with a hot spot or a rain rod or a weeping thing, a sore or something that I can try the paste on. So that's just going to have to wait until a moment somewhere along the line. And I don't want to just give it away because I want to personally try that stuff. They're just a nice company. I love that they're kind of a husband-wife team that developed this product into a line of really, naturally based powders and a shampoo. So I'm just gonna kind of keep giving them a heads up. And I did a dry cleaning on my two Maltese with their powder, and it worked well. It wasn't the same as a wet wash, but it was the same or better as a sprayed dry clean that's a lot more chemically complex. Then these things are very natural. And of course, I'm using their human powder on myself, and it's helping. I think it's good news on the coat defense. I think it's a good product line to keep in our lineup, our toolbox.
I was very surprised at how popular it is amongst the horse people. Everybody knows about it, everybody uses it, and speaks very highly of it. And of course, I've blanketed my horse all winter, so now I don't have rain rot this year. So,
Good.
yes, I'm happy about that, but I don't get to try it really, but that's fine. The testimonials say it's a really nice product. Everybody seems to love it. With those Artero brushes, I have one that has longer pins on it. And you were mentioning that you thought that this looks like it has longer pins on it. That's kind of a bummer. I wanted the short pins.
I think this is a longer pin brush and it's good for longer hair.
Okay.
But the downside of longer pins is that they're more easily knocked out of whack. And that means you got to be careful with storage. So you really shouldn't throw your slick brushes and your good pin brushes in a box or a drawer or a bag or whatever, because it's so easy to get things out of alignment, and then they're not doing their job right. Their main job is not just to straighten the coat or to stretch it, but to align those hair strands at exactly the right angle so that the light can be reflected off the surface of the hair. The hair, it looks healthy and shiny and whatever. And proper hair alignment is very relevant to the look of a healthy coat.
I liked the Artero brushes before they changed to the bamboo handles. The bamboo handles are a problem for me because the trailer's so wet inside that the handles get ruined, or at least I think they're going to get ruined. I can already see moisture seeping into the handles. So I like the old plastic handles, which are very similar to this brush that the Tweezer Man has that we're going to order. So I'm happy about the handle because I don't like those bamboo handles. They're awkwardly shaped for me and then they suck up all the moisture. So I was hoping for that. But I have to admit, I ordered a lait pooch brush. I know, because of the flex. I miss the flex. I'm using a small coated slicker brush most of the time, but when I want to detangle that hair, I really miss the flex in the brush. So I'll be interested to take a really close picture and see what they've done to their pins, because if they're too icky, then I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, I'm going to remain skeptical because lait pooch is no longer the lait pooch of our earlier years, because the company has gone through changes, and often when there's changes in ownership of company, some of the details get lost in cost saving measures.
When I placed the order, the sales lady remembered me. I haven't ordered from them for probably 10 years. She remembered me and she said, "Haven't you bought from us before?" And so I got a better deal than what I had actually ordered it from the website for, which I was happy about that as well. But I still did not feel compelled to add anything to my order except for that brush because I didn't want to pay the money for the rest of the stuff that without knowing if it's even the same. So one brush I'm willing to risk. And I was also debating whether to go with one of the Activet brushes that Groomer's Helper carries. I think they're called Activet. I didn't find that to be as flexible or as agile a brush as the lait pooch design was. And it just seemed to be a little wider and it just wasn't quite the same. Although I may end up going there as well till I can find my perfect brush again because now I've lost it.
Well, remember, brushing causes more coat damage than combing, and small, narrow pins cause more coat damage than that.
You've definitely retrained me. You've retrained me to use the coated pin brush. And I hardly use that Le Pouche brush maybe once a week. But when I want it, I really missed it. That's so sad.
Yeah, well,
The one that's stiffer, I still have that. That's not the brush I want. I want the softest one. That stiffer one is too stiff for me, and I don't like it. So, yeah, I shed a tear. One lonely tear went down my cheek.
Poor thing. Poor groomer.
I know.
Poor groomer lost her favorite. I just don't think that a brush that's 20 years old is still as coat friendly as a brush that's new.
I would agree, but you reviewed it when I took a picture of it 4 months ago and said, wow, that one looks good. That's the brush I lost. The one that you gave me the 2 thumbs up over. You know, I get it. It's all right. Moving on. Let's take a break. Then we'll talk about our favorite influencers. Did you know that Stasco has come out with a couple of new products? First, there is the Stasco Oatmeal Protein Conditioner. This conditioner provides exceptional body and manageability and super shiny finishes. And it has a wonderful apple scent that I love. Great in the recirculator, too. And they have a new matching protein conditioning spray, dematting, anti-static conditioning, and finishing all in one, just like the original Stasco spray, but with that delicious apple fragrance. Look for these new products at trade shows and your favorite distributors like Cascade Grooming
I
Supplies.
really love that conditioner.
Let me tell you about Best Shot's newest addition to the Ultramax Pro line. Ultramax Hair Hold is a flexible hairspray that can be layered on for a stronger hold. Ultramax Hair Hold Spray is great, but my favorite new product is called the Max, and I won't groom without it. It's a fragrance-free ultra-concentrate conditioner and detangler. It reduces drying time and handles undercoat and tangles like magic. Just a few drops in the final rinse or spray it on and dry it in. Contact your favorite Best Shot distributor or learn more online at bestshotpet.com. Grooming success begins with Best Shot in your tub. Made from the best stuff on earth.
I want to add a little something about the Max because we've been talking on the GroomPod Facebook group a little bit about mixing shampoos and conditioners. Because the Best Shot Max is a water-soluble, highly evolved silicone, it does not have a hazard or a risk of combining with the anionic cleansers and creating a residue on the skin. It is one of the conditioners that you can safely use to add a dash, and I mean just a little bit goes a long way to your shampoo to create it as a conditioning shampoo.
Since you bring this up, I also want to mention that there has been a big discussion about results rinse recently. And the magic bullet for me is results rinse with a few drops of the Max in it. That is really the best possible light conditioning, detangling, de-shedding on a dog. You don't want to end up with a greasy coat. I mean, it's just fabulous. Those two things together, even though they're from different sponsors, they both are sponsors, though I'll like to point that out. But even though they're from different companies, they really do work very well together. It's really amazing. So I suggest you give that a try.
I concur.
Ready, groomers? Here comes our first appointment. Well, as Barbara and I do so often, we were scrolling through Facebook and came upon a question on the Pro Groomers Network about who you look for when you're looking at grooming videos and entertainment and posts and knowledge and learning, and who are the valuable influencers out there. What are we looking for here when we say we're going to name our influencers?
I look for people who pass along credible input or education or tips. TikTok influencers can be very popular, but they don't always have any kind of an educated foundation from which they're speaking. It's just pretty much personal opinion and personal experience, which is not scientific. And then we value them as though it was scientific. And I don't like that. I look at not necessarily who's hot and who's not, but who's credible and who's bullshit.
So, since you're mentioning the entertainment value, there is a couple, a married couple out there who also won a Barkley Award for podcasts a few years ago that I was a sourpuss about, which I'm still a sourpuss about that particular award. But I just want to give Nathan Austin and Katie Austin shout out because their videos, they put so much content out, and their videos are truly funny and entertaining and also sometimes educational, but they really do a great job at video. Their podcast is good, but their videos are fantastic and they're fun, and his grooming, both of their grooming is really really good and really fun to look at, but they do entertain more than they are imparting wisdom, just like you said. But I do believe that they deserve a mention. So I Googled the top influencers in pet grooming, and I found a lot of general groomers who share quite a bit, prolific content producers. And when I found a Reddit post about someone looking for some good grooming videos, there were some really awful grooming videos that got suggested to this person. I felt really bad. But then I looked up the most influential pet groomers on social media, and by golly, a bunch of them I have no idea who they were. There are some really good ones, like Nathan made it on there, but Groomhouse was at the top of the list. Groomhouse puts out a lot of educational videos. I find them to be pretty good. Do you ever watch their stuff?
Not really, although one of their videos was brought to my attention a little while ago, and I was critical of the educational material, and it was not accurate. What I have a problem with in our industry is that there's no fucking fact checking. Come on.
None.
A company or a brand that's trying to be educationally superior needs fact checking. That's what I have against Groomer to Groomer magazine. There's no freaking fact checking. An author can say just about anything, and if it's comprehensible, it's considered to be accurate, and it's often not.
I totally agree.
It's just a huge pet peeve of mine. And to run into that right away with Groomhouse was a sour taste, so to speak. Bull patties. Bull patty.
There. I had to throw that in there. We actually had chatted, and you have a really good list assembled. So let's start on your list. These are people we trust.
Okay, so I call it current major players.
Okay.
I always go to Suze Echo and Jay Scruggs because they are both prolific and very good at explaining grooming skills and styling, as is Jody Murphy. Jonathan David, I love, and he has some great videos out there. Scott Wasserman deserves his name, Mr. Terrier. Melissa Jepson, who we just interviewed, she's hot and new and rising star. Blake Hernandez is entertaining and a great stylist. Olga Zabelinskaya is a hero for bringing understandable Asian fusion styling to us. And for science-based foundational information, I like Jennifer Bishop Jenkins, Dave Campanella, and Christine Pearson. For holistic grooming information, Michelle Knowles and Christine Pearson, again, is very holistic and helpful for that. For behavioral focus, Chrissy Newmeyer Smith, Susie Scott,
Yikes.
you are my hero. You bring us compassionate grooming every time you open your mouth. And for felines, Danisheva is Ray. So those are my list of current major players. Who do you have to add?
I've got to add Shoe and Tree.
Oh, Shoe and Tree is, oh, yes. I love those videos. Shoe and Tree is my heroes.
You have a lot of heroes.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
you turned me on to them, and I can watch her scissor. It's just fantastic. Oh my gosh. And her eye for balance and sculpting.
And cute, and cute. She just nails cute time after time after time.
One of the guys on the list that was pretty high was Gabriel Fietosa, the creative groomer. He puts a lot of content out, and he's got a huge following on social media. So if you like creative and following the process, he's got a lot of videos out for that. The most popular, if you're just talking popular grooming videos out there, is Jess Rona, which I thought was interesting. I've never been able to get into one of her classes, but she's got a huge following, probably because of her Hollywood name.
Well, isn't she a TikToker?
Oh, maybe. See, I don't have TikTok.
Well, I have it, but don't ever watch it. You know why? Because I don't like the sound effects that are available with TikTok. It drives me just nuck and futz. I think she's a TikTok personality, and that is a part of her appeal and draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's interesting that people don't draw for their educational value so much anymore as their entertainment value. That's why I like to give a heads up to people that I know are being science-based, factually based, and what have you. Suzanne Grande, or Grand, however you want to say it.
Yeah. Grand Grooming is the name of her YouTube channel, I think.
Yeah, she's great. She is grand. I can sit there and watch grooming for hours, but lately I've just been watching a lot of reels. I get stuck. In the morning because they come on my Facebook feed. And so I go there and then I just do one after another, after another, after another. And I love the comedy ones. And I'm going to send you one because it's funny about Bernadoodles, kind of in a mean way.
Oh, okay. Now that my upper hamstring is pretty much all healed, I'm back into the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. So hopefully I won't hurt myself again.
Are you cheerleading along with them again in front of your gigantic life-size TV?
Sadly, yes. It's so much fun.
I don't know if I want life-size TV. I'm not quite ready for it. I need a little separation. Life-size TV is likely to take me down a bad road.
They're big. They're really big.
I might think it's real.
Yes. Okay, well, the dogs might. Let's take another break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about shampoo for coat types and if it's marketing or if it's real.
Show Season has a great enzymatic cleaner called Kennel Fresh. And you dilute it with warm water and it smells good, and then it evaporates to be a deodorant. As the Kennel Fresh dries, it's enzymatic, it eats the bacteria and the odor source. So it's really good stuff. You can use it indoors or out. Find it at your local distributors or showseasongrooming.com.
The GroomPod and Precision Sharp would like to invite you to check out the newest precise cut shear called Lynx. Its patented design features a thumb ring that slides the length of the handle for perfect ergonomic placement of your thumb. Slide it, lock it into place, and get your best grooms on. Check it out at precisionsharp.com.
Groomers, take your seats. It's time for B-Bird's Classroom.
Ashley Stribling asked a question on our Facebook group, and you're going to finally get to answer it. So here's her question. She starts out, so I had a thought, and I figured I'd ask Barbara, because that's what we all do. We have thoughts, and then we run to our Barbara, and we say, hey, Barbara, what's the story? She says, are there actually certain ingredients in shampoo or conditioners that cause straighter hair, more volume, or curl definition, or is it all marketing? Do they actually help, or does it really come down to how it's dried and brushed? Take it away, curator of ingredients.
Are the differences real, or is it all marketing BS? And I'm going to say that it's both. So in the human hair industry, there's more distinctions than we might have in the pet grooming industry. I started out, I was going to look at human hair for specific hair types and see what I could find there. But then recently, more sooner, I found that Tropiclean has a line of shampoos for specific coat types.
Oh.
And I thought, well, let me just go in there and look at what they've done and report on that. So this is called the Perfect Fur line. And there's six different types. There's for curly and wavy hair, for long haired coat, for thick and double coat, for short double coat, smooth coat, and combination long and short. I copied out all of the ingredients as posted on Amazon. And it's interesting because Tropiclean is a company that I have danced around with for decades because they won't tell us all of their ingredients. And they're still not telling us all of their ingredients, but they are trying to create the impression of significant differences in their formulas for these different types of dog coat. And I find it a combination of some actual different ingredients. And then what they've done is they have botanical extracts, like 5 to 8 botanical extracts per product. And the botanical extracts are different for most of these 6 special shampoos. So that gives an impression of a great difference. And the whole botanical extract business is a huge marketing device. I'm just going to remind our listeners that botanical extracts are usually present in extremely small amounts. So when you have like 5 to 8 botanical extracts, there's no one of those extracts that has a prominent amount of probably any amount to make a difference. You can just pretty much ignore it if there's a blend of many extracts. If there's 1 or 2 botanical extracts, they might make a difference unless it's aloe vera, which there's no science that verifies that powdered aloe vera, when added to a shampoo, actually delivers any significant moisturizing or healing benefits to the skin or hair. So let's look at these. I've kind of summarized the ingredient panels of the 6 different, it's called Perfect Fur, Tropiclean Perfect Fur shampoos. One of the things that I noticed that I was really critical about is that there's no mention of conditioners. These special coat type shampoos do not have special coat type conditioners. What I like about show season is that they will tell you when a product goes well with another one of their products. There's none of that. You have to kind of figure it out for yourself. But here's what they have for curly and wavy hair. It's got two different hydrolyzed proteins plus oat extract for it in a total of 5 botanicals. And it has a detangler unnamed, probably silicone.
I love how fruity and natural food like this ingredient list is.
It's very food like and fruity. And they say that all 6 utilize a citrus fragrance, which I'm going to remind us means there's D-limonene, which can be accumulated into becoming an allergen for some people. It's probably more of a risk factor for bathers than it is for dogs who get bathed every 6 to 8 weeks or monthly or whatever. For the long haired coat type, also 2 proteins, in this case, quinoa and rice proteins, plus the oat extract. And oat extract is one of the total of 5 extracts, again, in this shampoo. It also has added glycerin, which is a humectant, and xanthanol, which is a humectant that actually has value to the inner cortex of the hair if left on long enough. And by the way, they recommend for all of their shampoos to leave them on 2 to 5 minutes.
What?
The
Okay.
thick double coated special shampoo for thick double coats. I expected that one to have the most novel ingredients, but it's just got a single potato protein, hydrolyzed potato protein, detanglers, vitamin E, and 8 botanical extracts. So that was kind of a meh to me. It's probably, but what it does have is the duo of a hydrolyzed protein and probably a silicone detangler that makes for the essence of easy de-shedding. But it's not even as complex or many ingredients as de-shedding shampoo. For the short double coat, also has hydrolyzed potato protein, an odor neutralizer, and vitamin E. What the heck is this with the vitamin E? I don't really know that vitamin E, I recognize it as a antioxidant. It's good for kind of neutralizing environmental caused damage, like from smoke and stuff. And the vitamin E keeps the botanical extracts from becoming oxidized and morphing into different chemicals. But I don't really know that vitamin E has that much of a cosmetic value to the skin or coat. The smooth coat shampoo has hydrolyzed rice protein and the hydrolyzed potato protein, oat extract, which almost everybody has. And oat extract is a good thing because it is a prebiotic that helps to restore the skin's microbiome and the hair's microbiome. This smooth coat shampoo again has vitamin E, and also has panthenol. So, they're different one from the other, but there's some great similarities in these things. They're not that different. The combination, long and short, has hydrolyzed potato protein, sweet potato extract.
That's important.
Yeah, sweet potato extract. A couple of them have sweet potato extract, and 5 botanicals. And the odor neutralizer, they're not telling us what the odor neutralizer is. See, damn it, Tropiclean, you just can't pull the curtain back. They again have vitamin E. And I'm going to say again, I think the vitamin E has more value of keeping the botanicals from spoiling than anything else. So that's their 6 genes. What do you think? So I'm not particularly impressed. I do like that shampoo for long-haired coats has glycerin and panthenol, which are a good humectant and moisturizer, which is good for long hair. But the thick double coat, it doesn't really impress me a lot, although I'm sure it does de-shed some. But 8 botanicals, a blend of 8 botanicals, yeah, that's like 8 bull patties to me. I'm sorry.
Shampoos like Best Shot and products like the Max aid in de-shedding. So it can be absolutely said that that is scientific fact. I think that when you get a package of curling ribbon and you take the scissor blade and run it down the curling ribbon, that curling ribbon curls up. But I don't really know of a product that does that to hair.
No, it doesn't. What curly hair products do is prevent breakage, because curly hair is inherently easier damaged because the proteins align within the hair shaft kind of out of balance because of the curvature of the hair. So it has weak spots. The hair strand has weak spots in it. And so the hydrolyzed protein and the detangler in the curly and wavy hair is just a way of preventing damage from grooming. One of the things I ran into yesterday in watching my fixation on reels was a hairstylist who seemed to know what he was talking about, but he was mature. He was styling a young woman with very curly, natural hair, black woman, not totally coiled, but quite curly. And he made a huge point that he does not use the comb on that hair because he does not want to break up the curl pattern. We never think of that because we straighten everything. We even straighten rustic coats like the Romanola.
Are you talking about when I wash my hair and I let it dry naturally, it makes about 4 big coils? Is that what you mean? Like it's where it naturally goes to a coil?
Well, no, I don't think that's just slightly wavy hair. Of course, I haven't ever seen your hair like that, so I can't.
Okay, good point.
I can't make too. I can't make too much of it. And how much do we know might be done by that elastic that holds the ponytail up? It is crunching it right in the middle. That's a wave happening right there,
Yep.
But you've seen my hair, how it really spirals when I wash it and then just air dry it. And
Ringlets.
yeah, ringlets, that's curly hair.
Yeah.
It's just been established that curlier hair is more easily damaged and broken than straight fat hair, like Asian hair.
So, what do you put on it to make it straight? Because I know you can heat it up and iron it flat, but what product, what ingredient is in there that's going to straighten it out? Silicone will a little bit, I think. I mean, it does on my hair.
And moisturizers do. And iGroom uses the squalane
I remember that.
in their long hair, and that's a super moisturizing, hydrating. So you really hydrate that hair. Volume to create the volumizer. That means you coat the hair shafts with plenty of protein that builds up the fatness or the diameter of the hair shaft and gives a sense of greater volume of hair. That's a volumizer. Moisturizing shampoo is really good for any kind of hair, but especially for long hair, it tends to dry out at the tips and the ends. So protein is a very protective ingredient because it fills in gaps and gouges and cracks of the hair shaft. So it prevents your combing and brushing from gouging over a gouge and creating a stronger break.
I think I get it. So, there are products out there that affect the hair's natural state, but you're still being controlled by the basic shape of the hair. Like, I can get my hair straight for a little while, but it doesn't stay straight because it doesn't want to stay straight.
Because it's not naturally straight, and you live in a very humid environment. So as that humidity is attracted to your hair, it causes it to revert back to its natural strength. Yeah, there's no ingredients that's going to make curly hair straight, but it can make straight hair healthy. That's what we're looking for. And the thing that we learned from the iGroom squalane is that it did give a nice finish to the drop coats, but it also added drying time, which humectants and moisturizers will do. The exception being panthenol, which I don't think increases drying time at all because it doesn't coat the hairs. It's got such small molecules that it doesn't really build up on the hair shaft and interfere with drying. But a lot of propylene glycol or glycerin will definitely, if you've got a humectant that's attracting moisture and you're using a dryer that's trying to remove moisture, what have you got? War between the two of them, and ultimately you'll get it dry, but do you just like dry up the glycerin? I don't know. I don't know. There's questions about what we do, what we as groomers do to hair. So I didn't finish about the hairstylist. What he showed us is that he never uses a comb or a brush on this super curly black hair. He just finger combs it, which is equivalent to like using a big fat poodle comb, which is what I always recommend for doodles and rustic coats. There's the reason. It doesn't interfere with the curl pattern. And it's also a reason why to scissor over the curly hair, not just try to make it straight, scissor it and then make it curly again.
And like Ashley said in her question, the way you brush and dry the hair does have an effect on the way the hair looks after you're done. So you can stretch dry the hair and make it straight. But once again, eventually it's going to go back to its natural state because that's just what it's going to do. So, okay, I think you answered the question. We were a little late on answering the question, but we did get to it. So that's cool. So next week we're going to talk to Jennifer Bishop Jenkins about her trip to Saudi Arabia. That is going to be fascinating. She's teaching grooming in Saudi Arabia this week. That's neat. So I look forward to that. And I did want to talk very briefly about the Groomore situation. Don't know quite what's going on with them, but they've assured me that our information is safe with them. And I'm just going to stick it out and see what happens. I have a lot of faith in their company. And I think that if something was going to go horribly awry, they probably would be contacting me and letting me know so that we could let you guys know. So I just say, hang tight, wait with me, and see what happens. Don't make any judgments and don't make any rash moves because it really is the best software out there. All right. Anything you need to add, Barbara?
No, I'm good.
Me too. Me too.
I'm ready to go make myself some cinnamon bran muffins.
Oh, that sounds delicious. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. And thank you for supporting us on Patreon and through the donation button. We appreciate it all. Happy grooming. See you next time on the GroomPod. Bye-bye now.
Goodbye, and remember, we love you.
We do.